All right. Peace, peace. What's good out there? Peace, peace. What's good out there, family? See here. All right. Can y'all hear me out there loud and clear? Just want to make sure that y'all can hear me. Somebody in the chat, give me some feedback. What it do? What it do, Miss Gemini? I am Whole E, Alchemist Handbook. I see y'all. Somebody give me some feedback, though. Let me know if y'all can hear me out there. Just want to make sure y'all can hear me before we get started. Okay, cool. Perfect. Somebody said perfect. That's what I like to hear. Perfect. So what's good, everybody? Welcome to my channel, The Imagination Guru. I'm your host, Minister Jew, a.k.a. Jackpot Jew. Terrence, what it do, man? All right, what it do, man? What it do? So yeah, man, so tonight we're going to talk about it, man. We're going to talk about it. I've been getting a lot of requests to talk about the pandemic, share my views on it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button, get the likes up, the shares, all that good stuff. If you're coming on in for the first time, for the people who've been around in this community for a minute, who've been listening to my message over the last 4 or 5 years, welcome back, man. I appreciate you guys tuning in to check out what it is that I have to offer and share on this subject matter. Man, so where can I start, man? Where should I start, Jew? Well, I got a whole presentation, so I'm gonna get to the slides, but I want to put this out here first before I begin. I want to put this out here first. Is that I'm not trying to sway anybody one way or the other in relationship to what they feel like they should do about COVID, vaccines, that type of thing. I want to set that straight right out the door. What I am more interested in is getting my audience, my following, the people who are into what I am into, getting into the state of mind of how these things are actually generated and brought into physical manifestations. And if you're wise enough, inside of how this happens, it'll be clear on how you should handle it moving forward. The problem is this. We confuse the world of effects for the world of causes. And you know, everybody always listen. People send me videos all the time. I just wrote a book, Hip Hop Laws of Attraction. It's available on Amazon. Link down below in the description box if you're interested in reading it and gaining an insight from some of the jewels that I wrote in that book. Just had a release party for it last month in Atlanta. It went great. Shout out to everybody that came through to support and participate in that. But, you know, we see it all through mainstream media. Everybody's talking about the law of attraction. Everybody's talking about speaking into existence. Everybody's talking about how thoughts are things and how powerful thoughts are. But then, whenever something happens in the world, we turn a blind eye to that phenomenon as if to say, oh, it doesn't apply for this, or it doesn't apply for that. Why? Because your senses are so engaged in the physical world that you disregard that notion or those sayings or those beliefs or those, principles that you see other people talking about, and you see things manifesting in their life. But when something like this happens on the world stage or even locally in your community, on the news, your local news, CNN, whatever, it's like we just throw it out of the window, right? And so we have to learn how to stick to the tenets, right? Stick to the tenets, and then you will understand how to reverse things like this. But when you got such a big situation like this, it's going to take a concentrated effort. Now, we used to, man, listen, man, we used to get down. Me and Ampool, we take people to the mountaintops. We just did it a couple weeks back for the book signing. But like we used to do it every year, 4 or 5 times a year. And maybe next week, me and Ampool will come on and we'll demonstrate that to show people some of the results that came back. But we don't stray away from the power of the mind because we know that's what's causing the phenomenon of life. Point blank, period. Nothing else. Point blank, period. That is the cause of the phenomenon of everything that you see in your environment, right? So let me do this, man. Let me see something right quick. Let's see. Hold on. Y'all bear with me. Let's go window. Let's go like that, Jew. All right. So quick question. Can y'all actually see what's on my screen? I just need some feedback from somebody. Can y'all see my screen before we get started? Because I got a whole presentation. I got 20 plus slides. I really came through to kick it with y'all tonight. So I just want y'all to sit tight and let's go for this ride. So y'all can see, okay, cool. Monica says yes. Everybody says yes. Y'all can see the screen. Great. So before I get into any demonstration, right? Because we talking pandemics, plagues, placebos, and prayer. It's a lot, but it's all intertwined in relationship to the subject matter of what's going on in the world, because you have to understand these concepts and principles to even really grasp what I'm trying to communicate. Okay. And so what you're looking at, let me tell you something. Let me be very blunt. This is the law of the land, ladies and gentlemen. This right here, what you're looking at is the law of the land, right? This is the supreme law of the land, full stop. I don't care who teaching what. Tell them to call my card on it. Challenge me on it. I'm telling you now, this is the law of the land. Observation and quantum physics, and you listen, quantum physics, for those that are new to this channel, I intertwine neuroscience, quantum physics, and holy text and weave them together beautifully so you can get a clear picture of what is actually taking place in front of you day in and day out, what ancient people were wise enough to be able to communicate through metaphor, allegory, and parable, what has been discovered in laboratories in the 21st century, right? And the things that have been written down from fMRI scanners and machines looking at brain waves in people's heads to validate what I'm saying. This ain't no philosophy. This ain't that. This ain't that, right? I'm not trying to sway you with a propaganda. No. So what you're looking at is, in a nutshell, what quantum physics is all about. We learn when we study this phenomenon that what? All of the stuff that you see in the physical world, I mean, everything that you're looking at right now in your living quarters, wherever you may be at right now, it's all made of atoms. All of it. All of it. Molecules, atoms, all these things. But at a very small scale, what you're really looking at is a wave. And the wave is infinite possibility. There's no limitation on it. It's infinite possibilities. And the truth of the matter is, the only we haven't come to this realization. I was just in Puerto Rico for my anniversary last week. And I flew my mother in from Vegas so she can watch our children babysit for like 4 or 5 days. And she came through, and when we came back, we were having a conversation. And she was trying to get me to explain to her, all of this stuff, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm talking to my mother. And I said, Mom, humanity, we're babies. We're children. As sophisticated as all of this scientific stuff we think we got down here, Humanity is babies. The large portion of humanity hasn't discovered that observation, subjective images, and emotion is what's creating everything on the outside of us. We haven't even come to that understanding collectively as humanity. So what are we doing? We're walking around here creating all kind of mischief, trouble, danger, because we don't understand how that phenomenon is actually working. And I'm going to show you that as we move through some of these images tonight. But what you're looking at is the invisible wave, the quantum wave, where all this infinite potential exists. When we're not looking, when we're not making an observation, or to make it simple, when we're not giving it attention, right? It remains this infinite superposition state of infinite possibilities. But the moment you decide to put your lens on it, the moment you decide to make a measurement, the moment you decide to ask a question, asking a question is a form of collapsing a wave. And so when you get engulfed in this, like I have been over the last 8 to 10 years, what you would discover is all of these people who we call great scientists, Albert Einstein, Niels Bohr, Podolsky, all of these people, right? When you read their journals, when you read manuscripts on these people, you come to find out that all of their discoveries and inventions come by way of some type of imaginal act. How they visualize. One of the gentlemen who discovered the shape of an atom said it just came to him in a dream. He visualized what it looked like, and he just wrote it down on paper. And guess what? All of his contemporary colleagues said he was a quack. He had lost his mind. What are you talking about? And then years later, after the man had transitioned and died, they come to discover that, yes, the atom looks exactly like that. So if you're here and you're new, I want to make this message clear to you too. What I'm saying to you may be very foreign and may be very brand new, but I'm going to tell you like this. Don't disregard what I'm saying. Don't disregard what I'm saying because you're not aware of it or because nobody else is talking along these lines. Because what history has shown us, the brilliant people, the genius people who have come before us, they always were considered strange. And Pooh just sent me something tonight because we were talking about the Quran. And there's a passage in there that says, they're very well educated, but crazy. And so that's a state of consciousness. I know people probably looked at me and Ampu like that years ago when I was coming through on his Facebook page, dropping hammers. It was new to people. And they like, what the hell is Jew talking about? We never heard it like this before. But that's in scripture too. When the Christ came, they said, we never heard it in this manner before. But that's all right. That don't mean that I'm going to keep dropping it. Because I got the receipts and the proof to validate what I'm saying, right? So we have to understand this, right? So the moment that we make a measurement, an observation, we ask a question, we start to take this stuff that the universe is made of and we get it to collapse. And what it does is it brings things into a solidified objective state. Where now we can look at it and say, oh, that's that. We're going to call it this. This is what this does, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So an example of this, this is a drawing by Michael Ramus, 1991, from the American Institute of Physics, that's basically showing you the Schrodinger cat experiment, where Schrodinger came up with this beautiful equation that showed that, and they use a cat. Is the cat dead or is the cat alive? It's a 50-50 chance, but we won't know until we make an observation, till somebody actually goes to look. So the experiment is like, they got some lethal gas and the cat, it's a 50% chance that the cat may be alive or it's a 50% chance that the cat may be dead, right? And according to quantum physics, it says, well, we don't know whether the cat is dead or alive until we go look. Right? And so what this exemplifies or demonstrates is that, again, it's not until you go make an observation. It's not until you make an observation that would determine the direction that the wave collapses in. And the observation doesn't have to, it's not necessarily external. It's what you're seeing in your own mind's eye, what you're repeating to yourself in your own mind's eye. What are you saying to yourself personally day in and day out? That's what you're collapsing into your experience, right? So here's the definition, right? In quantum physics, wave function collapse occurs when a wave function, initially in a superposition of several eigenstates, reduces to a single eigenstate due to interaction with the external world. This interaction is called observation. It is in the essence of a measurement in quantum mechanics which connects the wave function with classical observables like position and momentum. So that's basically the definition, right? So now we talking pandemic, right? And Minister Jew is saying what? That you'll look and it'll say, oh, it began in China. That's still the effect. And people are like, huh? No, it physically began. No. I'm telling you now, no, that's not where it started. That's where it started in the world of effects. But that ain't where it started in the world of causes. And this is where it becomes very important in your own personal space. Because let me keep it a buck with y'all. Let me keep it 100 with y'all. I was reluctant to even do this because I'm busy with my members, the people who have decided to dedicate themselves to this to change their personal space and lives and their families' lives. Rocky, he's probably watching. He was the one that really prompted me to do this video, and that was over a month ago, and I was kind of like, I don't know, right? But I'm like the Christ. The Christ said in the book of John, look, man, I don't pray for the world. I pray for the ones that have gathered amongst me to teach these lessons to. That's in the book of John, right? So I'm not as excited as I once used to be to go out and demonstrate something on a world front like we used to do in 2012, 2013 with all these galactic activations. I'm not thrilled about that anymore. I'm looking to awaken individual souls down here to remind them that they are God in the flesh. Yes, I said it. That's my mission, period. The world gonna keep spinning and keep going regardless what happened down here. But I was reluctant because I'm like, man, listen, man, these people, they just, people are curious and then, nah. I'm not doing that anymore. So I'm telling you that things start on the mental plane, right? So everybody's seen these, right? Everybody's seen these. This CNN, the Simpsons remain our psychics, right? And here's another. Lady Gaga playing the Super Bowl. The singer guested on the show in 2012 and played a concert for Springfield in which she flew through the air, much like she did during her halftime performance at the Super Bowl 2017. So all these examples, and people are like, damn, what's going on with the Simpsons? And guess what, people? Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. Skip out on the predictive programming talk, please. Please. That's elementary. This the big boy leagues. It's the big boy league. And leave it alone. Leave it alone. You have to understand that, see, we talk about these, everybody want to be Tahuti and Hermes Trismegistus and da-da-da-da-da, Buddha and Toph, da-da-da-da-da. But when it comes time to demonstrate this, then they throw that out the window too. Right? So here's another one. No one could have predicted that the U.S. will win curling gold, right? Actually, the Simpsons did in the February 14, 2010 episode. They beat Sweden, who the U.S. happened to beat to win gold today. Then Fox News reports the Simpsons predicted 8 years ago the U.S. will beat Sweden to win Olympic gold curling. Let me tell y'all something. Now, this is what y'all got to ask yourselves. You think the United States government cares or anybody cares about a goddamn Olympic curling gold medal? Now you have to probe and ask yourself another question. Here's the next question that you got to ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Did they predict it or did they create it? Huh? But see, we think with all of these puffed up egos, right, that it's no, I'm my boss. I'm in control of everything that I'm doing. Let me tell you something right now. If you don't understand the laws of mind and the mechanics of how it works, your ass is always under somebody else's suggestion. And you're waking up thinking you're a free agent every day while walking according to somebody else's imaginal act, will, dedication, motivation in order to bring something else into fruition. I'm telling you this. I would have been here all night if I pulled up all the neuroscience studies, but I ain't come here for that. But just believe me when I tell you, okay? You ain't as in much as control as you think you are unless you understand the principles of mind so that you don't fall under the suggestion of somebody else's screenwrite and you be walking around as an extra in somebody else's movie. I'm telling you this. So, Jew, huh? What do you think this is, ladies and gentlemen? Nothing spreads fear like contagion. Huh? A movie about what? Virus spreading all over the place. Then here's the other one. Carriers. People walking around with disinfectant, bleach, gloves, masks, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. The other one, 93 days. People walking around with masks. The world is about to expire. And see, we go to the movie theaters. And by the way, this has, gotta say this because it's a bunch of people out there teaching a whole bunch of stuff. But let me tell you this. This ain't got nothing to do with race. It don't matter. It ain't got nothing to do with race. It ain't got nothing to do with sex. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that. Consciousness is Lord. All caps. Lord. Consciousness is Lord. It don't matter about what's going on in the human genome. It don't matter what you're eating. None of that. None of that. Consciousness is Lord. Period. Everything else is effects. Everything else is effects. So we run out to these movie theaters. We watch these things, right? We go sit in these theaters in these trance-like states. These images are downloaded into the psychology. They're downloaded into the psychology. And then guess what? Our empathy mirror neurons come online. And you know what we start to do? We start to simulate and co-create these things into the physical world, ladies and gentlemen. And then walk around and say stuff like predictive programming. No. These people, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So then stuff like this happens. Huh? Remember this? This is how Planet of the Apes starts. As coronavirus slams styling terrorism, monkeys brawl in the streets. This was a scene straight out of a movie. Look. March 12, 2020. Huh? I'm not making this up. I couldn't make it up if I wanted to. I'm the messenger. And I'm going to deliver it to y'all whether you want it right now or not. Because at some point in your awakening, this seed going to be planted and then the light bulb going to go off. Okay? So look, nothing is exempt from the law of suggestion, not even monkeys. See, there's only God in the world, and the only thing that's God in the world is consciousness, period. So, then we have this. Sylvia Brown wrote the book End of Days. And this was in a book. I think this might have been 2008, maybe this came out. In around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and the bronchial tubes, right? And resisting all known treatments. Almost more baffling than the illness itself will be the fact that it will suddenly vanish in as quickly as it arrived, right? Attack again 10 years later and then disappear completely. This is in a book 10, 12 years before, talking about exactly what a pneumonia-like illness that is spread across the globe that's going to attack the lungs. Huh? See, the written word. See, let me tell you something about the word of God. Let me tell you something. The word of God is a formula. And writing things down is another way to collapse a wave. You ever read the studies about people who write their goals down versus the people who just keep them in their head? The people who write their goals down have an 80% more chance to achieve the goal than the person who just keep it in their head. What is so magical? And I said it before. You see, the pen is mightier than the sword, my Lord. When you understand this phenomenon, right? Because see, I'm a problem. If you get on my bad side, I'm a problem. I ain't got to be nowhere near you to cause a problem. Huh? So anyways, it's true that, now this is about the book. It's true that Kuntz named now listen to this. It's true that Kuntz named a fictional biological weapon. She called it Wuhan 400 in the novel. It's also true that Wuhan, China is the city at the center of the 2020 coronavirus outbreak. However, that's pretty much where the similarities end. And so they go through some other things that are not necessarily in alignment exactly, right? In Kuntz's novel, Wuhan 400 is a human-made weapon. The coronavirus, on the other hand, was not. Right? So here's the next question you ask yourself. This woman wrote a book 10, 12 years before this thing happened, called it Wuhan 400, which is the place where it actually began in the actual nation that it began in too, China. You think that's a coincidence? See, we have to, when the imagination runs wild and it is unchecked, you're gonna reap what you sow, whether good or bad. It's no respecter of persons. Huh? So I want you to read this. The brain responds the same way when you're imagining something as it does when you're physically experiencing it. Yeah, get the likes up. Hit the like button. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm going to read it again. The brain responds the same way when you're imagining something as it does when you're physically experiencing it. See, remember they told you that Christ was buried in the land of Golgotha? But then when you go translate the word Golgotha, it actually means the physical skull. So you mean to tell me that this Christ or this Christ consciousness, Christ energy is somewhere in my skull, Minister Jew? You can't tell me that, because now I'm finna go probing. Oh, and then I'm able to pinpoint the area where some of these phenomena that are written in this holy text are corresponding to brain activity. And then I find myself in my limbic brain. Okay. And then I go study, and then I'm reading this thing, and it tells me that the brain can't tell the difference between what's imagined versus what's actually physically taking place. And then when I go into the book of Jeremiah, and it tells me to come down to the potter's house, and then they say there he was working at his will. And then I know that this is a book of parables, simile, metaphor, et cetera, explaining different states of consciousness and how the mind works. I say, okay, well, let me go translate the word potter, Jew. And then when I translate the word potter, it comes out to yetzer in the Hebrew language, which means imagination at work. Time out. What? What do you mean? What do you mean imagination at work? So then I said, oh, well, that's going to be my first solo book that I write. Imagination at Work. It's available on Amazon too. None but gems in there, right? But if you want to research this further, because see, I told you I ain't here to pump fake and give you a whole bunch of philosophy and a whole bunch of deep black magic stuff that can't be corroborated or validated. Nope. We ain't doing that. Evaluation of effective connectivity of motor areas during motor imagery and execution using conditional Granger causality in Neuroimage 2010, X. Duan and H. Chen. Go read about it. Go read about it. I'm not making it up. Okay? So what I'm telling y'all is what? All of these motion pictures, all of these things coming together, right? Because the brain can't tell the difference between what you call in fiction versus what's actually real. And see, because we don't know how we're made, as scripture says, we're fearfully and wonderfully made. Okay, you can't tell me, okay, and the body is the temple? So you're telling me this fearful, wonderful place, I'm inspiredly made. I'm wonderfully made, but my body is the temple. Okay, well, in my skull, okay, let me go right to these targets and figure this thing out. Let me tell y'all something. It ain't outside of you, people. It ain't somebody up in no cloud somewhere doing something to you, or somebody with a pitchfork and a red tail with bullhorns doing something to you. Eliminate that immediately out of your psychology tonight. It's you. And if it ain't you, it's the God next to you who is asleep that don't know that what they're thinking or doing, that has got you moving in whatever direction. Especially when you get stuck on autopilot, because repetition is the magic. Okay? So, then this happens. A 2019 Project Runway contestant named what, Minister Jew? COVID. Oh, man, Jew. A 2019 Project Runway contestant named COVID who made masks has people buzzing. During season 17 of the design show, COVID Kapoor designed a suit with an accompanying facial mask, which one Twitter user called predictive programming. You see what you see? That's the preschool grade. They don't know yet. They still crawling. They still trying to figure it out. And what's shameful is you got some people, listen, man, you got people, man, forget, I ain't gonna go there. I'm just gonna tell y'all, no. See, what did they tell you in the Old Testament? See, Moses led the people out of Egypt with what? Signs and wonders, right? See, let me tell y'all something about this matrix that you live in. There's gonna always be something that pops up on the screen of space that will give you an indication. But like Jay Electronica said on one of his records, in hindsight, signs be glaring back. But where's the map to show you where you at? Right? So here we got COVID. This lady's literal name, who decided to come on the runway, right? With masks. Wait, long before COVID. I ain't making it up, people. I ain't making it up, right? And so, fact check, Reuters fact check, Project Runway mask outfit by designer named COVID is not evidence of predictive programming. I'm glad they said that. Because what it is creative programming. These things are being created from the minds of the people. And let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something else. And this is what's really scary about this phenomenon. It don't take but one person. It don't take but one person who got a strong enough imagination to implement the magnetism over millions of people. That's in scripture too. For it was me, I did it alone. It was I alone who was treading in the winepress. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Right? So then this happens. And this is what I mean about not knowing. So about a week or two ago on Twitter, something was trending big time with the movie I Am Legend, right? This Will Smith joint where him and his dog, you know, they were trying to, they had manipulated, what was it, Jew? They manipulated, or maybe was it the measles vaccine or something? And they manipulated it, tried to make it a cure for cancer, right? And in the movie, all of the people who took the what's supposed to have been the genetically modified joint, they end up turning into these zombies. So people on social media, and see, this is how this matrix screams back at you, if you understand what you're looking at. So now people are all on social media, Twitter, et cetera, saying, you know, we don't want to take it because this is what's going to happen, right? This is what the conversation is for other people on social media, right? So this is the guy. Here's one of the writers. Here's one of the writers from I Am Legend. Responding to the article, Akiva Goldsman, 59, who co-wrote the screenplay based on the 1954 novel of the same name, tweeted, "Oh my God, look at this now. It's a movie. I made that up. It's not real." Huh? Man, but what did the Christ tell them people, man, on when he was up there? Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, Minister Jew. So you know who Akiva, but see, Akiva Goldsman, he's not into neuroscience, maybe not, I highly doubt it. He's not into the mystical arts, I highly doubt it. But he has an active imagination. He writes screenwrites. He's writing scripts. So what we would call Mr. Akiva Goldsman, you know what we would call him? We would call him a Gentile. That's what we would call it. And that's just a person in the state of mind. Listen, let me say this too. This ain't got nothing to do with literal people, Israelites, and there's no disrespect. There's no disrespect to anybody, their nationality, none of that. I gotta teach it how I know it. It ain't got nothing to do. A Gentile is a state of consciousness. An Israelite is a state of consciousness, not a race. You can make them up according to the book, and that's what's happened. People have taken these terms in these texts, and they have imposed it on their persons. But the truth of the matter is, these are just states of consciousness. An Israelite is one who's aware of this law, who knows what they're doing when they're working it. A Gentile is one. Let me read this. This is Romans 2:14. This is Akiva Goldsman. For when Gentiles who do not have the law, what law? The law of liberty, as they call it in Scripture, or what people in modern day times are calling the law of attraction. For when Gentiles who do not have the law, by nature do the things in the law, meaning even if they don't know the law consciously, but by nature, meaning they're naturally doing the things that are inside of the word or the law, these, although not having the law consciously, are a law unto themselves, meaning they are still capable of working the phenomenon even when they don't know that they're working it. Mr. Goldsman, he doesn't know. Look what he says. Oh my God, it's a movie. I made it up. It's not real. He doesn't know that imagination is what's causing the phenomenon. Mentalism is what's causing the phenomenon. But he hasn't reached that state to know, damn, wait a minute. The things that are happening now are so eerily similar to some of the plots and the storyline in the movie, but all he can say is, it's not real. But he doesn't understand. but he's still working the law, whether he's conscientious of it or not. You see? You see? So I saw this because now let's move over to the placebo side of this thing. Anti-vax nurses, right? 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 Anti-vax nurse injects 8,600 with saline instead of COVID vaccine. Right? So basically what she did was she gave all of the, because she's anti the vax, right? So she gave everybody that came into her contact with her basically a placebo. And this might be the most important part of the conversation that I want to have, right? Because fear is a mother, man, right? But essentially, for those that don't know what a placebo is they usually it comes in the form of a pill, maybe a sugar water, saline infusions. Different. Sometimes they even go so far where they send a person through a botched, or not a botched, but a fake surgery. I've seen case studies where people come in there with torn ligaments, haven't been able to walk straight for 10 years. And then they go into a fake surgery where they put them under the anesthesia. The doctor may go in and make a small little cut on their leg, but they never actually go in and do any literal or physical repair. And then the person comes out from under the state of amnesia. Their leg is wrapped up, like they just came out of a surgery. And guess what happens? Then people go home and be walking around doing jumping jacks, playing sports, like their leg has been completely healed. Why? Because the power of their mind and the suggestion that they're under the care of someone who was there to actually help them has caused what? Their bodies to believe that their knee or their legs are 100% healthy. So now they're going back out into the world doing all of the things that suggest they should be 100% healthy, even though they never ever got cut on, even though they never ever got repaired. And so in a lot of instances, it's very difficult for these companies to bring pharmaceuticals to the market because the placebos are outperforming the quote unquote real drugs. And this is what baffles me about science, but not really, because I understand it. They don't want to push that too much because then, you start to understand that the mind is causing a lot of the phenomena. Then what do you need the drugs for? Right? But these are documented, peer-reviewed journals all talking about this phenomenon. In fact, there was a case they called him Mr. Right. There was a case they called this gentleman Mr. Right. Get the likes up, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. He had tumors, right? And he was in a severe state, man, like really, really bad state. And the doctors, they didn't have anything left to deal with his condition at the time. We talking 1957, because here's the case study. For those that don't believe me, go read it. I ain't making it up. Psychological Variables in Human Cancer, B. Clougher, 1957, December. I'm giving you data. You can go read it. It ain't Jewish philosophy. I ain't making it up. I ain't trying to sell you on nothing. I'm just giving you what's real, right? So he had tumors big as tennis balls, right? And they didn't have anything left to get this man. So the doctor said, well, you know what? Let's try this placebo run just to see what happens. So they gave him a shot. They called it Crevizin, right? They give him these shots, and it wasn't nothing in them. It wasn't no real remedy, quote unquote, real remedy in it. But guess what? A few days after he took the shots, all the tumors started to shrink. He was like, wow. And they released him from the hospital. But guess what happened when he got home? Watching the news, and wink, wink, I'm dropping a big hint here. Watching the news, right? He saw where the Crebazin that he took was actually part of a trial run in a placebo. And guess what happened? Soon as he found out that it wasn't quote unquote real, all the tumors grew back. So then he's back admitted to the hospital. So now the doctors are like, wow, it was a remedy. He was fine off the placebo till he found out that it was a trial run for another placebo. And so they said, so the doctor, his doctor was like, man, we need to do this again. So they reinvented, they did it again, gave him another dose, told him that it was something else that was added to this one that wasn't from the last one. He took the shot again, all the tumors went away. Again. Went home, guess what happened? Watching the news talked about this trial that was being run at the hospital for tumors, and this time he succumbed to his illness. Huh? See, you got to be careful with what you're watching because, see, not only is it a placebo, there's also something called the nocebo, where you can be convinced into sickness, ladies and gentlemen. Huh? You got to be careful. And I'm not saying that the pandemic ain't real. What I'm saying is, once you add a certain amount of energy, attention, right, to something, just like Mr. Wright in the Crebazin studies, right? Something was able to be produced from something that was quote unquote not real. So it could be reversed. Something could be, you could be ill and then they give you something that say it works and it's a placebo and it does and all of a sudden you're fine. Or you could be fine. And now you got coming with all this propaganda saying how devastating something is, how volatile something is. And you know what happened? You're going to be right under that suggestion and everything that you're watching and listening to will happen to you. And at that point, it doesn't matter the source because now you are experiencing the symptom. See, this is what's real, ladies and gentlemen. That's the goddamn question. What's real? Huh? What's real? I'm trying to put you back in the driver's seat, man. That's what I'm trying to do here. So look, I want to read this. I want to read this. This is LA Times. Hundreds of thousands of Cambodians were killed from 1975 to 1978 by Pol Pot's fanatical communist Khmer Rouge, who tried to transform the nation into an agrarian commune until Vietnam invaded in late 1978. Nearly 200,000 Cambodians fled to the United States. Vietnam withdrew troops in September. Historical blindness has been reported among shell-shocked soldiers during World War I, children of divorced parents and people involved in traffic accidents. Now look at this. Now I'm going to show you on reading this. The majority of the refugees with vision complaints are 40 to 70-year-old women who fled the Khmer Rouge regime, which was toppled a decade ago. Experts believe that the refugees suffer hysterical, psychosomatic, or functional blindness in which psychological turmoil spurs people with normal eyes to believe that they are blind or see poorly. Many of the Cambodians also show signs of severe depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, which afflicted many Vietnam War veterans, Rosie Coker said. Now, why am I reading this to y'all? See, most of these were women. They watched this cat Pol Pot come over to listen. This guy was a barbarian. He would take babies slam little babies up against trees and kill babies, kill their husbands and their brothers and their sons right in front of them. Like this guy was a beast. For real, right? And that damaged them so much psychologically that guess what? They went blind. But guess what? When the eye doctors looked in their eyes, their corneas were perfect, their pupils were perfect, their rods, their cones, everything was in perfect order and intact, yet these women were blind. Oh, man. Listen. Do you understand that? There's nothing physically wrong with these women's eyes, but the trauma that they were under, the things that they've watched have caused them to not want to see. And there's nothing wrong with their eyes, yet they're clinically blind. Do you understand the power of the mind? And by the way, the trauma, see, you're watching all this news, all this bad news, the trauma impacts the hippocampus in the limbic brain. And that's one of the structures that helps you deal with problem solving. And you're trying to figure out why can't nobody come up with, especially before all this happened, why can't you come up with solutions to your problem? Because you stress, you watching the news, you got it every day, all day, and you're trying to figure out why. You're damaging structures in your brain that's going to help you create the solution to your problem. Huh? So guess what? Whether COVID is fake or not, or real or not, it don't matter. It got legs now. It got legs. So what you gonna do about it? I'm giving you go about changing the dynamic the same way that it's been impacted into your reality. You gotta go to the plane of mind, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you. So now, but see, what did Job tell you? Yeah. What did Job tell you? For the new people here, look, they call me Minister Jew, but I ain't your typical minister. I ain't your typical pastor. I ain't gonna be telling people about no pearly gates nowhere. Nope. I ain't doing it. Because I know that ain't what they talking about. This whole thing is a psychological drama. And to master it, you must utilize the gift that we all have been given. Look what Job 3:25 say though. For the thing I greatly feared has come upon me, and what I dreaded has happened to me. Ooh-wee. It's one of my favorites. Y'all be doing all that complaining, all that whining. This gonna happen, that gonna happen. Guess what? It's definitely gonna happen. And it's definitely gonna happen to you or somebody around you who close to you. Yeah. And then people, listen, let me tell you how caught up people are in their trauma. It's people out here on an anti-positivity movement. Oh, why you can't be positive like that? That's running away from reality. Shut up. You ain't studied enough to know. You don't know. You know what the hell you talking about. Huh? Because when we get into the brain and we start to look at these structures, trust me, the positivity is what you need to be embracing regularly. Okay? See, they get mad when you start talking about, caudate nucleuses and interior commissures and how the electric, they get mad when you start talking like that. Because now you can't run to that BS philosophy. You can't run to that. You got to, because I'm going to ask them, do you have that structure in your brain? They're going to have to say yes. They're going to have to say yes. And then the argument stops right there. It stops right there. Huh? Right? So then like this. So I'm on Twitter, right? This is Jael. She says, you know what's so crazy? I could see some of these vax crazy people gladly becoming Nazis for the government and turning on the people against it, pushing us into camps. They totally would. You know what I told her? I said, please rewrite that. Please rewrite what you see. Otherwise, this will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. They think they just be talking. Ooh. Unresponsible gods. Irresponsible God. Just don't know. Just don't know. But, you know, it's only Lil Jew, Ampool. Who else talking like this, man? Who? Who do you know that come up out of the community that y'all know that I'm talking about who talking like this? With the receipts. Who? Huh? I'm telling you. Right? So let's get to the prayer part, Jew. Oh, yeah, we gotta talk about it. So this Second Chronicles, both of these out of Second Chronicles. And in a nutshell, because how long we been here, Jew? I don't know, about an hour. I ain't gonna keep y'all too long. I might not read through this whole thing. But in a nutshell, every time a plague, pestilence came upon the people, right? You know what they say? You know what they say? The Lord or God tells them to do what? To collectively come together in supplication and pray. Huh? That's what he say. Anytime a plague comes amongst the people, get together. Huh? Get together. And focus your intent and your mind on one thing. That's what you should do. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to do it because everybody has their own way. You know, I think what we have in my membership is a flawless approach to this, right? But that's a whole nother conversation. Like I said, for my crowd, my stable of folks, right? But you got to collectively come together to do it. And I want y'all to look at this. I want you to look at this because I'm giving you alley-oops tonight, right? Presidential apology, because you know everybody have this saying, oh man, we can't trust it, man. Remember Tuskegee, remember this, remember that, da 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 da. And I'm not gonna go back and forth with people about what I think they would do it again, and that was old. I'm not here for that opinionated argument. I'm just here to give you the cause. So it was a presidential apology for the Tuskegee experiment, right? On May 16, 1997, in the East Room of the White House, President Bill Clinton issued a formal apology for the Tuskegee study of untreated syphilis in a Negro male. We all know about that study, right? So I said, damn, Jew, because see, I know when I get in these zones, right? Let me go look at these dates. Because see, there's a connection to what happens down here and what's going on above, and vice versa. Because the truth of the matter, see, you'll hear people talk about spirit only means breath or air. Oh, no, it's some other translations that talk about regions of space, ladies and gentlemen. Huh? Regions of space, ladies and gentlemen. And oh, by the way, the structure in your brain that is synonymous and runs parallel with spatial recognition is also the same structure that allows you to mount images and imagine. Is that a coincidence? So when I went to go look at May 16, 1997, what was the moon at, Minister Jew? Huh? What was the moon at, Jew? Over there in Virgo. Now you may say, Jew, what this got to do with anything? Huh? Well, on March 9th, 2020, there was a full moon in Virgo. And in that same week was the week when what happened? The lockdowns began in March, ladies and gentlemen, when Trump declared it a national emergency. Huh? Now, but I'm showing this to show you threads. Space is intelligent and encompasses memory. Okay? All right? But what is Virgo? This is a sixth house phenomenon, right? Virgo is in the sixth space or sixth place of space. But see, the sixth house is what, ladies and gentlemen? Ooh, sickness and health. Huh? What are we talking about here? Sickness and health. But what rules Virgo? Mercury, the lungs, respiratory issues. Including what? Conditions or daily life or work. Ain't that all changed? This is also the location for routines. How many people's routines have changed because of this? Homeschooling, working from home, unemployed, all this work, health, daily routines and conditions have completely changed. But there's a thread running here. So what am I pointing you to do? See, because we about to have a new moon in Virgo coming up soon. My members know we call it the tattoo party. Y'all know what we do. But see, what did John 3:27 tell you? A man can receive nothing unless it has been given him from heaven. Ooh. But when you go translate the word heaven, if you look down and you look over into the exhaustive concordance, you see the word astrologer there? Ding, 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 ding. Another translation for the word heaven is Uranus. So now what are they telling us? Because see, there's other passages in scripture, There's other passages in scripture that show you how to marry the science of consciousness and the cosmos. But I ain't giving that up. Got to be inside the membership for that. For the serious people, not the curious people, the serious people. Right? But what did he tell you here, though? Drew? What did he tell you? His seed shall endure forever, and his throne as the sun before me. It shall be established forever as the what? As the moon, and as a faithful witness in heaven. Oh, stand up and testify. When you witness, you do what? You make an observation. See that little satellite out there? Oh, boy. We get into priesthood talk, man. And we work this thing beautifully. So what can your imagination conjure up in early September as we approach this new moon in Virgo, What seed you gonna drop off? You say you're tired of it. You wanna go back to your regular life, What you gonna drop off then? What you gonna drop off? In this same region of space, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I might put something together. I might. Right? But look, before we go, I want to show y'all, because I ain't just talking. See, I do this for real. As I said, I pray for those who are amongst me. And these are the results that we get. You see, Khadijah? $30,000 checks from doing what? Wishing well techniques. That's something that's in the membership. Yeah. $30,000 check, $30,176.30 to be exact. You go to my Instagram page, follow me on Instagram. The Imagination Guru. It's all there. I'm like, Jeezy, it's all there. Huh? It's all there. And you see, look what Khadijah so kindly and politely, and I'm so thankful and humbled and full of gratitude that she even thought of me. Look what she sent me on the 16th of August. She sent me $300 as gratitude. And she said, thank you, thank you, thank you. No, thank you, sis, for believing in yourself. Huh? 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 Man, look. Man, look. Man, look. Look at this. Look at Marv in the chat. This is crazy. Credit shot up almost 80 points. No other work than mental. I done seen that 100 times. Here's another one, because it ain't just money, but money's great to have, so I ain't gonna act like it ain't important, because it's very important. Right? Here go one from my man Nassar Bay. Right? Back on July 15th. What'd he say, Jew? Peace, Minister Jew. My quantum twins touched down on 7/11/21 at 10:35 and 10:36. Yes, sir, Bay is the one I'm holding, and his brothers are here, Bay. They both weighed in at 4 pounds each and are very healthy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just a recap. I mentioned this was my wise manifestation after me forwarding all my archive webinars. She went on a quantum field trip, starting from Target to Walmart, buying baby clothes 1 month and onesies the next month. Fast forwarding here now. Now you may say, what the hell is this about? See, they told her that she couldn't conceive. They told her that she couldn't conceive. Huh? But guess what? Her husband, Nassar, is in the membership, and she been, eavesdropping and hearing, listening in while he's listening. And she told him, for me some of them lectures that you've been listening to from Jew. Because, we get down 4 or 5 times a month. We do webinars, conference calls, guided visualizations, all of that in the membership. $84 a month. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. You just start at $30,000 check. And it happens frequently to other people. Right? But look, this is what happens. They told her she couldn't have no baby. She's infertile. She went to work and started activating her quantum field. And look what the quantum field do. Gave 2 babies instead of 1. That's how it worked, ladies and gentlemen. So this is why I say I pray for those who are amongst me. I aid and assist those who are amongst me. I just did this tonight because, man, I just had to get it off my chest to give y'all some insights on what you can do. Huh? Huh? See? And then, last but not least, man, I mentioned the book. Go get the book. Hip Hop Laws of Attraction. Can we really speak it into existence? That's the question. It's available on Amazon. Type it in the search bar. Hip Hop Laws of Attraction. Minister Jew. It'll pop up. Go buy it. Buy a few. Pass them out to your people. Open their minds up. Great read. Full of data. You won't put it down. You ain't going to be able to put it down. For it, written by the legend, the DOC of NWA. Yup. I got some famous friends. I was coaching the doc for about 15 months privately. Didn't tell nobody, right? To help him with some things in relationship to his personal life. Gave him some formulas. And now he's off and running and he's back in his heyday. Huh? And as a favor, he wrote the foreword for me in return. I got great things coming up. My horizon is looking beautiful. I'm happy. I'm excited. I know that God is in me. I'm just here to remind you that it's in you too. That's it. And the only reasons your manifestations don't come to bloom is because you stop giving them attention. When you take a plant up from its root, it withers and dies. You have to keep that thing planted. Period. And Monica, I sent the books out to you, sis. You should have them soon. X, I sent yours out too. I got the tracking. Y'all good. Y'all good. Y'all good. And damn it, I deserve it. I ain't been doing nothing but helping people for the last 6 years. 6 years, man, dedicating myself to lifting others up. And probably more happy for them than they are for themselves. I'd be just as happy and as excited. But look, man, all the links is in the description box below. You want to get a consultation with Jew, the link's below. You want to buy the book, the link's below. You want to download the wishing well, the link's below. You want to join the membership, the link is below in the description box, man. That's what we doing. Right? So yeah, man. Yeah, man. Let me see now. Let me see. Let me see. And we're gonna stop that. All right. So I'm back. Anybody got any questions, man? We can kick it for a little while. Where we at? I'm about an hour and 10 minutes in. What's good, man? What's good? Anybody want to share something? I see some of my members in the chat. Y'all got some good news y'all want to share, man. Y'all feel free to drop it, man. But what's up? Man, I don't do these often, man. I don't think I've been on YouTube in over like a month and a half, maybe longer. Man, look, I don't know. But it is what it is, man. What's up, though? What y'all on? And I appreciate all the anniversary love, too, man. Y'all really showed out, man. I appreciate you guys for sending me and my wife all that love, man, over the last week. That was dope, man. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, man. Yeah, you missed it, OG. You missed it, man. You missed it. Absolutely. Knowing and not knowing the mechanics, when knowing and understanding the mechanics, one can manifest faster than one who may not understand the mechanics. This is true. But remember, somebody could be working the law unconsciously, though, too. So it becomes a law unto themselves, right? So somebody could naturally be working the law. People come to me all the time, be like, man, Jew, I remember when I manifested, I just didn't know it. Yeah, because you were a Gentile, you were still working the law, right? Dope chick, I see you in there. I see you. I see y'all. I see you. Yeah, man. So, listen, man, visit the website, join the memberships, man. That's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. You're going to come in, saddle up, and be ready to rock and roll. I guarantee you come in, get this teaching, let it really marinate, learn how to focus your attention, right? And really get into the mechanics of how this thing works, and ain't no stopping you. Somebody says, are there methods that work better for, well, this is a good question. Some people's imaginal faculties work different. So some people may have the ability to hear things, to audibly hear things using their imagination. Others vision, the seeing apparatus. Some people touching. So it just depends your temperament. So in the membership, I teach people how to explore using different aspects of their imagination. Right? All right? Absolutely. Peace, Aaron. I see you. Appreciate you for coming through to listen. You know what I mean? Absolutely. You know? So like, look, man, go and find when is that new moon in Virgo? I'm gonna holler at Ampu. I'm gonna see what he want to do, man. We might have to do a priesthood special. Somebody said, I was just in Atlanta a couple weeks back for the book signing. Not sure when I'm gonna be back in the ATL, man. Blessings to you too, D. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, man. So I think, you know what I think I might do? I think I'm gonna come on Wednesdays, maybe every other Wednesday, where I may have a subject matter in relationship to manifestation. Or I may take a passage from scripture and break it down to show you how to utilize it in your everyday life. I may do something like that. Would y'all be interested in something like that? If I came through maybe every other Wednesday, came through to drop some science on how to utilize some of these passages better? If give me some feedback. What y'all think about that? All right. They saying yes. All right. Cool. And I guess I will. I guess I will. You know. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna close, man. Thank you for everybody coming out. Listen, man, subscribe to my channel. I promise y'all I'm gonna try to get on here a little bit more often. But look, I be busy. I got members, man. And they call me and I call them back. And listen, I'm busy working. I ain't a camera whore. I ain't trying to be in the front of the camera all the goddamn time. Like, I get it. You know what I mean? But I still want to get the message out to as many people as possible. But y'all help me out. Spread the message. Share the videos on y'all social media. Some of the ones you like a Minister Jew. It may be some of the ones from 4 or 5 years ago, but share them. Put the content out there so people can be more aware of what it is that I do. All right? I see you, Vivian. Vivian, she's another one. She just hit the lottery. Vivian, right? She just hit the lottery. She sent me an ample of blessing too. Thank you. Right? Absolutely. Right? So yeah, man. I got it's 100 people in here, man. I appreciate y'all coming out. But other than that, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all here tonight. We're a little bit over an hour. Appreciate everybody's support. For all my longtime supporters. Appreciate you guys. All the new people. Welcome. I hope you stay put and interested. And that's it, man. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.